It's not very often we lead Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk, with breaking news. But that's what we have. It's not Kirk Cousins related, all right?
Oh, good.
Just calm down.
Good.
Just calm down. Karl-Anthony Towns, well, it depends on which of the two Titan NBA insiders you trust here. So Woj is saying meniscus issue, team is evaluating its options. We don't know if he's going to miss any time. Shams is saying torn meniscus, out indefinitely.
I mean, Tam's got Johnny K on the ground, so I'm probably going with Sham here, aren't you, Shams?
I think
Aren't you going with him?
Shams has been pretty spot on with
I
most
would
things.
think, and he's got a pretty good connection with the Wolves. It's kind of like though the Red Sox with Lucas Giolito. It's he's got an elbow issue, and everybody else is saying he needs Tommy John again. But
Yeah.
they're trying to back it off. But if it's a meniscus, he could be back for the playoffs, right? But you got to get it fixed tomorrow, right? You got to get the thing operated on tomorrow, and give him a month to recover.
But then there's swelling, right? Do you have to wait till the swelling goes? I don't know how that works, I guess.
Hey,
I'm not a
I
doctor.
want to tell you a story. I had a torn meniscus, which ended my stellar football career at Prior Lake after about 3 practices in August. And the surgery was done by the town doctor. We didn't have orthopedics then. The town doctor, Olaf Luke, operated on me from Estonia. And he operated on me. And I was back shooting hoops in October, getting ready for the season. So
So
that was
like 2 months later, month and a half, you were
and
fine.
he probably has a little better surgeon than we had back in the day. So he should come back.
Yeah, my
Now,
dad had the same thing. Football injury, caved in his knee. The local Kankakee, Illinois surgeon
yeah,
came in,
yeah,
put him in a
right,
cast for a month, and he
yeah.
was fine.
My problem with Dr. Luke was they had to drain it a few times, and they
Buxton.
put the needle in me to drain it. And it'd take a while, and then he'd go visit another patient, and then that needle would start kind of swaying around and hit a nerve, and they'd be,
Oh,
Doc,
Oh,
get in
God.
here, Doc, get back here, Doc.
I thought you broke your arm.
No, I did that too, and that was in Fulda though. That was in
Okay.
Fulda. I broke my arm practicing the arm tackle technique that we did back there. Here comes a guy running by you. Swing your arm out
just
there and hit him
clothesline
right.
him, and you'll slow him
hit him
down.
in the hit him in the shins, and you can break your arm, and you won't have to play football. It's fantastic. So anyway,
Well, so it's bad news for the Wolves because
yes,
Cat's been playing. Now lately he's been a little spastic, but for the
yes,
most part he's been playing really well. I would say optimistic Phil's going to come in here and say the good news is Naz Reid is only playing 23 minutes a
yes,
game. He's playing outstandingly this season. He's shooting 41% from 3. You can give him another 12 minutes. So that
yes,
helps. Now it doesn't help your depth, but you can
and
easily extend him.
And Luca can play 8. Luca's been up here. Luca's fine. He's not Cat, but he can shoot a little bit, and he's 7 foot tall. So let him play too. And of course, now you look at the Star Tribune comments. Oh, that Cat's a big wussy. It'll be again the fact that his first
What?
4 years in the plays, he played 82 games when Tibbs was here. Like I think he missed 1 game in the
Yeah.
Tibbs career, so he's been hurt a couple of times. He's he's been good this year. Sometimes it's not going in, and sometimes you wonder what the hell they're trying to do with him. But Cat's been fine. He's been. I'm more worried about the other oddball than I am him actually right now. Although with a knee injury, you don't want him to have too many surgeries on that knee. But they'll be. I don't think this is the worst thing. So what if they end up being the 4 seed instead of the 1 seed? Who cares? It's as long as is I don't think it's really a big deal. Do you guys? I mean, the West
Well,
is the teams are so much the same.
It
in the West.
depends. Yeah. I mean, it's like the thing about the 1 or the 2 seed is you could wind up playing the Warriors in the first round, and
Yeah.
they've been excellent the last. I still say, well, without Cat, your size advantage goes way down, so that becomes a different series. But
The
yeah, there's a bunch of
NBA,
formidable teams.
the NBA though, Golden State at Boston loses by 51, right?
Yeah,
51. 2 nights later, they beat Milwaukee by 35. Steph's throwing in shots from. I watched some of that
it's
game.
crazy.
He's throwing in 32 footers again, like it's 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It's weird. Did you see Wiggy is coming back too after missing 4 more games for personal reasons? I think his one of his parents is really sick, but he keeps missing games.
His
And
dad was sick
his
last year.
dad, yeah, I don't know.
That's why he
He's
missed all the time last year,
yeah.
supposedly.
I don't think this. This gives you a chance to work on your depth, and you're right. I Nas should play 25, 28 minutes. Why not? Let's go. Let's see what he got. I don't think this has to harm him a lot. Do
Well,
you?
there's another really interesting wild card that they signed TJ Warren to a 10-day contract.
Yes. Is he a three
So
point shooter?
he's at 3 different years in his career, he's been a 40% 3-point shooter, but he had a major foot injury like 3 years ago that kind of wiped out 2 seasons. He came back last year and he was healthy, but he was very rusty because he hadn't played in a while. But if you remember in the bubble season, the NBA came back in like August and they played the last 8 regular season games in the bubble. And he scored. He's like a 15 points per game, former 14th overall pick, like a good player. He scored 50 points in the first bubble game, then like 39 and 35, and he was one of the big
Wow.
bubble heroes from a few years ago.
Who was he with?
He was with
Okay.
Indiana at
Okay.
the time. Phoenix has been where he spent the majority of his career.
Yeah,
But he's
well,
6'8", he shoots, and if you can get like 80% of the old TJ Warren, I guess we'll find out.
he's got to use some of these guys, though.
Yeah.
This is now. Forget about the number 1 seed. Who cares? Use some of these guys. Find out what you got. I mean, come on, Finchy boy.
Finchy. Come on,
Let's
Finchy.
see if you got a shooter there. You need it. You desperately need a shooter. If this guy can make 3-pointers, find out, for goodness sakes.
Marcus Morris is available too from when the Spurs waived him a week ago, and he is, because he was waived before March 1st. He is postseason eligible, and he's available to be signed.
He was.
He's another
Now,
6'8" wing player that could come in and eat some minutes.
and he's the one whose twin plays for Dallas, right?
Markeith.
Don't confuse the Morrises. We got an MM Morris, and there's 2 other MM Morrises, but this guy's not the brother. But there was a rumor about the Wolves trying to get this guy a month ago, wasn't there? If there was a buyout situation with him, and
Yep, and the buyout took like 3 weeks to come to fruition, but it did happen 6 days ago. So
okay, yeah, well, let's go. Let's get some more manpower in here because right now they're not using their bench very well, in my opinion. So, what are we going to do about McDaniels? Though? My God,
that's another guy that gonna need him to score. He dropped like 26 points in a
Well,
game a couple days ago, but
yeah,
gonna need more of that from him.
yeah, they know. But I don't think this is the end of the world. Cat missing 15 games, he'll be ready to go when the playoffs.
If he's
start.
back for the playoffs, it's not.
Yeah, if he misses the first round. Hey, we've been saying all along though. They're a they're a they're a 3-2 favorite to get out of the first round. It's not like an 8-1 in the old NBA days when a 2 played a 7 and it was a complete. They never had they had no first round upsets. Now in the West, everybody's the same. Everybody's terribly flawed. So,
Well, and the teams at the bottom of the bracket they're filled with some of the greatest players of all time that are just kind of managing the regular season, right?
after watching Golden State last night, though, for a while, if I get one of those 2, I want the Lakers. The Lakers are old, and you can. Yeah, Anthony can go off and be the best player on the floor, but I'll definitely take the Lakers over.
There he is.
Phone call.
That's the trouble with the phone.
Incoming call.
Pat's a popular
It's
guy.
Finchy. It's Finchy calling him. Say, what should my rotations be now, Pat?
It's the Wolves,
Right,
Security Agency, the WSA.
Yep.
This
Everyone
Wolves
can just
slander.
call Pat and take him right off the podcast.
But yeah, actually, and LeBron James, by the way, has ankle tendonitis, so he's probably not playing back to backs the rest of the way. So yeah,
I don't know. We need Declan to figure this out. If I'm doing this on the phone and somebody calls me, how do I get rid of them? How can I
Or just-
block anybody
well,
from
I think
calling me?
airplane
for 20
mode. Airplane mode before.
Well-
This is the problem, though. So what you should do is put your phone on airplane mode with Wi-Fi on, but then you're going to forget to turn it off airplane
Yeah.
mode,
Okay.
and you're going to
so
wonder
I
why
can
no
turn
one's
it on-
calling you.
I can still use StreamYard if I turn it on airplane mode. I'll
Yeah,
do
as long
that.
as your Wi-Fi is on.
Next time I'll
As
do
long
that.
as long as your Wi-Fi is on. That's
Yeah,
the
I
only
got
thing.
my Wi-Fi on. So okay, we'll figure.
But then I feel like you're gonna forget to turn airplane mode off, and it's gonna be 2 days, and like, why is no one calling me?
No, I'll remember after, when I go to call somebody and they won't respond or something. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I can put it on airplane mode. That's good.
Yeah, airplane mode, Wi-Fi on.
There's a lot of people very worried about my lawn that want to sign me up to get my lawn mowed because they know I'm an old man who doesn't mow his lawn. I got news for you. Nobody's going to mow this year because no grass is going to grow. It's gonna be,
What are we
we're gonna have
charging
no-
for? What are we charging to mow someone's lawn in the suburbs these days? What do people
I
want?
used to get it pretty easy, like $35, but it's probably up to 50 now. I got a small lawn though. I probably got a small lawn now, so I don't know. Maybe I'll join that club that doesn't mow May, so the butterflies can have a better chance or something like that. Maybe that.
Yep.
Oh, is that a thing? We don't mow our lawns in May.
You don't mow it. It's genius.
Say,
Absolutely genius. I should be lazy.
Let's mention this awful Gopher performance yesterday. And what is Ben doing? Ola Joseph, he played 6 guys. They were all playing awful, and he played 6 guys. I don't get it. And
It was rough.
Payne hurts his back. He's sitting over on the bench with the brace on his back, and he still doesn't play the guy. I don't know what's going on, but that was a terrible loss. And I think I don't know. Marcus was at his best today because he was pointing out that 10th place will be an improvement. That's not really what we're looking for here, is it? 10th? We're happy to be 10th. Come on. I'm not happy.
Is that where we are now after the loss last night? 10th?
If they lose to Northwestern, which they will, they'll end up 10th.
Okay. I was there last night, by the way,
Ooh.
and my God,
how long did you stay?
I left around. I stuck through part of the second half, so it was definitely under 10 minutes in the second half, and it was not pretty.
This is no lie. I'm telling the truth. In the middle of the second half, I turned it off for like 10 minutes. Not because I'm a big Gopher fan, but because I couldn't stand to watch it. It was so rotten. Both teams were rotten for a while, and then Indiana started making some shots. But I had to turn it off. I couldn't. I thought I was going to go blind watching this crap. It was
Indiana. I thought I was teleported into like 1981.
Yes,
they've got this point guard with the high socks, the white high socks, and the mustache. They took 1 3 in the entire first half because they're just a crowd the paint team. And they still, by the way, I love how they still wear those old candy cane looking striped warm-up uniforms from decades ago.
Their coach is in trouble, though.
Well,
Mike Woodson, man. Dude's been around forever.
They said he's coming back. He's coming back because they got a hell of a lot of money invested in it. So.
How old is Mike Woodson now? I mean, he was in the NBA like 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah, he was there a long
Coach
time.
Knicks at one time.
That's right.
He's only 65. Wow.
Yeah. Well, he was one of Bobby's really good players. So he was, but a long time ago. So yeah, I mean, this is not as a youth. Again, I'm telling you youth stories, but they used to be in the 50s, the Hurricane Hoosiers, Branch McCracken, and they were the fast breaking team in an era when everybody played like last night's game and played
Yeah.
to 50. And they had a guy named Branch McCracken as the coach, and they tried to get 100 every night. They were the hurrying Hoosiers. And then it took a long time for Bobby came in and started winning, but he got a lot of abuse when he first got there because they wanted to go up and down the floor. That's the way you played Indiana basketball. And Bobby was grinded out. You know, he and Mussey had played 51 to 50 games. So, but a different kind of 51 to 50 games than last night. Last night it was because both teams stunk. There was that low scoring. That was awful, man. That was terrible.
Branch
Yeah, the crowd.
McCracken is a great coach's name, by the way,
Oh God,
Patrick.
it is.
That's a
Isn't it? Yeah.
great name. That sounds like
He's a
that
legend.
sounds like a name in a fictional book about basketball.
They had a guy named Jimmy Rail who was one of their shooters. This was way before the 3-pointer, but he'd throw the ball up and it damn near hit the ceiling and come down. He's big shooter, jump shooter from like 22 feet, and the thing. Whoosh.
Yeah.
he got 38 or something one night in the old barn. So
You know who I
What-
saw last night at the barn, just a few rows down? Saw him in the concourse. Gene Larkin was taking the game in last
really?
night.
Good for him. Good for
It was
him.
kind of amazing. I was asking a couple. It was Dan, our vice president of Hubbard Twin Cities, who the audience doesn't know, but Dan was there, and then Ross Brendel. And I asked those guys, of the 6,000 or 7,000 people in this arena, or 8,000, whatever, how many know if they ran into Gene Larkin, World Series hero from 1991? What percentage would know who he is?
Well, it isn't a
in
young
2024?
crowd. It isn't a young crowd. So
A lot of older
that's a
people, but
few, yeah.
I saw him walking around for chunks of probably 10, 12 minutes. Nobody, nobody
I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
really.
No, I could
no.
not.
Gene
Wow.
Larkin?
I know the
Yeah.
name. I genuinely do not know what he looks like.
Wow.
I know the name, obviously.
But I mean,
He's,
you and everybody else at the barn apparently last night.
Yeah.
He's taught hitting a long time though, doesn't he?
He's had he has a facility in Edina or Eden Prairie.
Eden Prairie.
Yes.
Yep. Judd and I went out there and did an old Sports Over Beers podcast with him
He's great.
one time, like 9 years ago. And he told the story about obviously the game-winning hit. He said he was shaking nervous walking up to the plate, and he told himself, "There's no way I can get through an entire at bat. I'm too nervous. I'm going to swing at the
pitch I
first or
see,
second
yeah,
pitch."
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was a nice fly ball that, unfortunately for him, the guy was playing 20 feet behind shortstop, so to cut off the sacrifice fly. But what we, of course, all should remember about that is Gladdy getting to second base.
Yeah.
Because he was safe by what? He's our Dave Roberts stealing second against the Yankees.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
He's safe by just a tick, and then he that's how he scores the run. We might still be waiting for somebody to score in that game. So.
That one and Knobloch deking out Lonnie Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Who probably would have scored.
Lonnie. Oh God, yes, Lonnie would have scored easy.
But Lonnie hook, line, and sinker.
Lonnie didn't exactly come out to the clubhouse and talk to us about it either.
Yeah, can't blame him.
We're still waiting for a quote from Lonnie too. So on that thing, yeah, that was a just a major screw up. But then they tried to make excuses for him. But it was Nobby suckering him in.
Yeah,
that's right. Let's make peace with Nobby and have him come up and get his. He's had his issues, and he's probably in a state of depression. I think they should let him come up and go into the Hall of Fame.
I suppose he's not on social media anywhere, is he? Like, what is he?
Probably can't find him anymore.
Let's see. I mean, Chuck Knobloch Facebook is probably the most likely.
You talk about a guy
platform
that
for him.
if you walked past him today, you wouldn't recognize.
A little chubby.
Chuck Knobloch. I think he's bald and chubby.
The thing I said about him, though, when he was young, oh yeah, he's chunky as hell. The thing I said about him, though, there's about a 5-year period where he added something to his game every year. He got a little better doing this defensively, stealing bases. He really made himself a much better player, and then he went to New York and went crazy. And the yips ruined his life, basically. The yips ruined his life.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's on Cameo.
What
So
is
you know,
that?
Cameo, it's a website or an app on your phone where celebrities, A-list all the way down to Chuck Knobloch, you can pay them to send a personalized video message.
Oh,
So like
really?
we actually did this. My father-in-law is a huge Pete Rose fan and wants
Okay.
Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, and so it was like it's like $400 I think
Really?
for like a Pete Rose, or it's like
That
$300.
was the birthday present for
Yeah.
dad, for
But it was great. And Pete
father-in-law.
Rose is like, "Hey, John, I hear you defend me at every turn. Thank you. Happy birthday." But there's
Now it's
examples. If Chuck
so is
Knobloch has
it
a Cameo page,
it's now but you're not talking to him. It's just a video that you get, like a
yeah, you
20
send them
seconds
kind of a
worth of.
script, and then they
Okay.
will record it and send it back to you.
Yeah, well,
You can Chuck
Pat?
Knobloch. The price is a little lower on Chuck Knobloch.
Pete
It looks like.
Pete was probably the first one to come up with that scam, and not the one. Yeah, let's make peace with Pete too. With now that DraftKings
Yeah.
is the official sponsor of baseball and every other sport, let's make peace with Pete too. The trouble is that Veterans Committee. There's no way the Veterans Committee ever put him in. It'd almost have to be a special edict by the Hall of Fame or something to
He
get
could
him
be the
in.
front man for, it's Pete Rose. Here's my 3 picks of the night. Picks to click on DraftKings.
Oh God, yes, he could. How old's Pete now?
Got to be in his
70-something.
80s, right?
Is
80?
he 80? Is he 80
Here, let's
now?
look that up too.
I've told you guys this. So I was there when he got the hit to beat Cobb, and I was there about 3 days. He did 45 minutes before the game with the media that was there, with the reporters, mostly newspaper guys now. 45 after the game. 3 days. Never told the same story once. It was the greatest.
Wow.
It was the greatest interview that I've ever been around. It was, you couldn't write fast enough with these unbelievable stories that he'd had. He just he was in his glory. Of course, then he was going in and he was. I wonder that they didn't really have the exotic bets back there where he could go in and bet on himself, right? That he's gonna get.
No, there
I'm gonna
was no
get 2 hits.
Pete Rose will get 3 hits in this game.
Yeah, right. He'd be in there. Sorry, I gotta
He's
go in
82 years old, by the way, Pete Rose.
all right. I got to go in and you can see him if you go see Joe this summer at Cooperstown, you'll be able to find Pete downtown, so sitting at a card table out in front of
Yeah.
some card
Speaking
shop,
of, actually,
shining like a son of a gun.
to that exact point, I just went to his Twitter account. His last tweet was a picture he posted on December 5th, 2023. And it's him at a card convention in front of a table with Mike Tyson and Ric Flair.
Wow, man, alive. That I can see Tyson needing the money and Pete, but Rick's got more money. But Rick does that
Rick,
too.
Rick spends it maybe
Rick
a little
went
faster
through
than
it
he
too.
makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be there's a trio to draw to.
Oh,
Those
man.
three, man, alive. That'd be fantastic. Tyson. The greatest prediction in history was when Teddy Atlas told Ron Borges before Ron Borges, the Boston Globe boxing writer back in the day and columnist, before the Holyfield fight, that Tyson knows he's going to get beat. So he's going to do something outrageous to retain his fierce reputation. And that's when he bit his ear.
That's,
He,
yeah.
Really?
yeah. Teddy said he's not ready to fight. He knows Holyfield's going to knock the crap out of him, and he can't take that. It would ruin his tough guy image. So he's going to do something crazy here.
How about
So
it, man?
yeah.
So, well, hey, we have to go. Tomorrow, we promise you a full recapping of the latest Kirk Watch 2024 information, Pat.
All right. And the state high school hockey tournament 2 class, the top class, which Judd approves of,
The real tournament.
will playing. Looks like Edina again, I'm afraid. Aren't you? You thinking Edina, Joe?
Chanhasen's got the goaltender, Pat.
They do.
They got the
A lot
hot
of cake between
goaltender.
those two. Yep.
They got the Jim Craig.
Rochester, though. Rochester might just knock them off at 11 o'clock.
And this is them
morning.
consolidated now, right? The two.
Well, JM, that's because JM has about 2 hockey players. They're all really Century kids. Even the Smolaks ended up going and playing for Century. So
just
JM
rips
is,
my heart out that JM's not a hockey
JM's the
power.
old high school in town. But where a lot of hockey players, though, are in Byron and Dodge County.
County, yeah.
A lot of their hockey players, they're good. You know, those suburban Rochester suburban teams are good now, and that's where a lot of their hockey players are.
All right.
All right.
All right,
I know
Pat.
more about high school hockey than you ever gave me credit for, Judd. See you
That's
later.
not
That's
true.
right.
I've always said
Why
you
does
love
Judd's
it.
Hockey Show never invite Pat on to talk
Just
about high school hockey?
because Patrick avoided the high school hockey tournament by purposely going to
Yes, he
Florida
did.
for 35 years doesn't mean he doesn't love the sport.
Yes.
Reggie Miracle, baby, that was your last great guy to cover.
Hey, I spent a day with Louis. That was fun in itself. So anyway, see
Thanks,
ya.
All right.
Bye.
See you, Pat. There he is. Reusse Unchained here on SKOR North. Mr. Hockey himself.